See
All
ya.
right, we're getting it. All right, so I am going to introduce to you our speaker. Let me ask her to start her video. She's fairly new to Beachbody. She just started over a year ago, and she achieved 2019 Premier, which is insane, okay? She was able in her first year of coaching to instill a belief of what's possible in people and to help them create a belief in others. So she's done some pretty outstanding work. We wanted to bring her on because she is a newer coach, and we do this on the National Wake Up Call, which is sometimes features someone maybe a year into the business. So a couple more things about Tara. She's a 3-star diamond and a Success Club 10 All-Star legend. No, All-Star, because legend would be 24 months. This is 12 months. She's from Burlington, Vermont, and here she is, Tara Simone. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much, Sandy, for having me.
It's my pleasure. Now, when you and I talked, I was pretty amazed at what you've been able to do right out of the gate. And so I wanted to bring you on. And let's do the traditional opening, which is, talk a little bit about yourself and why you became a coach.
Sure. So like Sandy said, my name is Tara Simone. I'm currently 22 years old, originally from New Jersey. So if you hear a slight Jersey accent, it comes out a little bit when I'm passionate. But like Sandy said, I currently live in Burlington, Vermont with my beautiful girlfriend and our little rescue puppy. And before becoming a coach, I was the typical broke college student. My parents actually cut me off financially when I was about 20 years old because of my sexual orientation. So tuition, meals, books, gas, everything was on my plate, and it was a huge stress on top of having the typical quarter life crisis of what do I do with this degree after I graduate? And I still had the freshman 15 to lose. And at the same time of all of this, me and my girlfriend were in a long distance relationship, and we spent that first year together driving over an hour and a half every weekend and almost every single day sometimes to see each other. So after a year of that, we were absolutely sick of that hour and a half drive, and I had the great idea that my last semester of college, my senior semester, I was going to move in with her and just do the hour and a half commute to school. The only problem was I had a part-time job on campus that was giving me all my income. I was making about $700 a month, and I needed that to pay the tuition and the bills and everything else. So before I could move, I had to find a job in her area in Vermont. And because of the time of the year with the holidays and everything, I couldn't find anything. No one was hiring. And I began to give up hope that that dream of living together my last semester was going to happen, until I came across my upline's Instagram. I saw her gorgeous feed. She looked so happy and so full of life. So I reached out to her asking, like, what is it that you do? Like, you have to tell me. So she put me into one of her coaching information sessions. And when I found out what she was doing was Beachbody, I was literally shocked. Like, I did T25 in high school on those old school DVDs, and I always saw the commercials for Shakeology and coaching. I just had no idea at that time that it was exactly what I was looking for.
That is such an incredible story. It sounds like your creativity stemmed from necessity or desperation, and you just made it happen. So I'm sure people are wondering how you became successful right out of the gate. So why don't you go through, how you got started and what was working for you?
Sure. So when I became a coach, I remember my upline and her upline saying over and over and over again in every training that Success Club 10 is a non-negotiable. If you want to succeed fast, that's where it starts. And like I said, succeeding fast was exactly what I needed, because after 2 months of becoming a Beachbody coach, I was able to replace that part-time income of $700 and quit that job and move in with my girlfriend, which was amazing. But Beachbody was my only income source at that time. So I had to succeed and do it quickly. And after those 2 months, I fell in love with being my own boss. And I knew that I did not want to work for anybody else. Like, this was an amazing opportunity. I wanted to do it full time. So my last semester of college, I really focused on making my income progress so that way I could do this full time after graduation. And I knew that if I could help at the very least 5 people a month, that I could match the part-time income and really lay that foundation to have a successful and long-term business, because that's what I see my uplines doing.
Hey, but, Tara, before you go on, I know that I had asked you this. So, I mean, how did you know what you needed to do? How did you, I mean, I know that you said Success Club 10 was a non-negotiable, but how did you just know that that was going to put you in the best position to replace that income?
So I heard from, like I said, my upline and her upline, that every elite top 10 coach was a Success Club 10 all-star legend. And if I wanted to find success like they did and have this be a full-time income, that was at least where I need to start and where I should be setting my focus.
Great. Just keep going.
Awesome. So in order to help me hit Success Club 10 and help those 5 people a month, I created a no matter what list for myself. And pretty much every single day, I had a list of everything I had to do. And I did not go to sleep at night until that list was done, even if I had tests the next day or a 3-hour commute to classes. No matter what, it got done. And I had my workouts on there. I knew I had to share the opportunity online. And I knew that if I invited at least 10 people every single day to join me on this opportunity, that consistency and the momentum would build and really help me lay the foundation for my business. And I'm happy to say, after 8 months of that consistency every single day with my no matter what list, I was able to make this a full-time job and not have to get a 9 to 5 after graduation. And I also,
Perfect. Just keep going. You're doing great.
Okay, so on top of doing the no matter what list, I also began holding myself to a much higher standard. So before any post was published, before I started any conversation or opened a coaching information session, I always asked myself, would a diamond coach post this way? Would an elite coach post this way? And if the answer was no, that means I didn't either. Because I knew that if I wanted to find success like them, I need to set my standards much higher. And this helped me come across much more professional and confident on my social media. And it's kind of the idea of dress for the job you want, not the job you have, except it's more like post for the rank you want, not the rank you had. And embracing the idea of publicly sharing my life took a lot from me, because I had super low confidence and self-esteem before I started this job. I was what you would kind of call a lone wolf in high school. I didn't have many friends. I didn't like to talk in large crowds. I never wanted the spotlight on me. So having a job based on social media was a huge step out of my comfort zone. But over time, my confidence increased because I was really diving into the products, focusing on my own transformation and helping my clients and coaches do the same. And I found that I was gaining confidence in myself because I was able to share that every single day. And by daily showing up on social media and sharing the successes I was finding in my own transformation, people didn't just see my physical transformation, but my personal and my business transformation as well. And it showed them that I'm just a senior in college. I'm just trying to pay my bills, get through my finals, live my life. But I also had a game plan to create a life that I wanted. And coaching was giving me that, and possibly would do the same for them. And I found the more success that I found and the more that I shared that and what this opportunity is and how it was changing my life, the more success I was starting to see in terms of rank and income in Success Club. And obviously built confidence in myself, but also my team, that if I could find success quickly and duplicate that they could as well. And that started a Success Club 10 where I started. That's what I now have a standard for my team.
So when you and I first talked, I was like, what are you doing specifically? That's like, you have all these great positive, things that you're doing consistently. Was the success that you were creating for your challengers, like, how were you bringing them into your groups? Was it all just from your social media and what you were putting out there? And then how were you keeping them in your groups?
So yeah, majority of my clients are through my social media. I do obviously have some friends and family. My mom loves her 21-day fix, but most of it is through social media. And it's really showing up daily authentically and taking them for the journey, not just showing them my like 80-day transformation, but showing them every single week, day 1 to 7, 7 to 14, every single day, and showing them like, hey, I have this many classes today, this many exams, but I still got my workout in and I'm still doing it. And if I can do this, then you can too. And I do the same things with my challengers, just giving them the motivation that like, hey, I got a crazy life going on too right now. We all have our own stuff, but it's the people who decide to press play every day that get the results at the end.
So in just thinking back to the accomplishments that I announced at the beginning of the call, and you hitting, Success Club All-Star, which is 12 months in a row, I can understand that because you were hitting SC10, that was a non-negotiable. And then you being a 3-star diamond coach right now in a year's time means that you were helping develop others. So can you talk a little bit about how you have focused on creating that leadership on your team?
Of course. So like I said, with social media really helping me find my challengers, that's the same way I found all of my top coaches. And I found the more I was willing to open up and share my story and, talk about what happened with my parents and being cut off financially and talking about my mental health struggles, the more other women connected to that. And that's how I found my top coaches on my team, was all through social media and being authentic. And then as we began to see our uplines, their businesses exploded the year that we joined. So seeing their success, we started to think to ourselves like, hey, maybe we could do this too. Like if she could do that in a year, well, what's stopping us from doing it? So I grabbed a couple girls and I was like, let's run and see what we can accomplish together this first year.
That's great. I'm coming back on the video now. So it just is incredible that you not only came out kind of like out of the gate, but you've also been able to share that with others. So I love your enthusiasm, and I love that this is a newer coach story, a startup story. So last but not least, I'm trying to do this new thing now, which is the personal fulfillment. Like, what has been the most rewarding thing for you? And, as personal fulfillment in this role?
Wow, there are so many things that this opportunity has given me. But honestly, the most rewarding thing was hope. After suffering and almost losing my battle with depression in college, all I could focus on every day was surviving. Like when my parents cut me off financially, with everything else going on, I was only 20, and that took a huge toll on my mental health. And I had no idea if I could afford to finish my degree, what I was going to do after that degree, if I was even going to graduate. And every day my goal at that point was to just get through it and just survive somehow. And even though my life was starting to fall back into place when I found Beachbody, I never imagined anything spectacular for me and my family. And in just this past year of the business, I was able to take my girlfriend on our first vacation, and we got a new apartment, and we rescued our puppy. And a year ago, none of those things were even dreams of mine, because I didn't think a life like that was in the cards for me. And this company gave me hope that I don't just get to survive this life, but really thrive in it. And now that I get to help other women dealing with similar struggles, it's just too amazing to believe.
I am so thankful that you came on the call. I really am, because you really overcome a lot. You look like you're so enthusiastic and happy, and you've struggled, and you've had to beat the odds. And I was looking at my affirmations for today, and it came up with, be the energy that you want to attract. And I just thought it was so cool, because everybody's got their stuff that's going on, but like you said, be the rank you want to, act like the rank you want to be the energy that you want to attract. You're exactly, you epitomize that. It's like, don't let something define you. Don't let the past define you. Don't let the challenges define you. Be who you want to be the energy that you want to attract. And I'm so thankful. And anything else you want to say to newer coaches if they're feeling like, is this doable? Can I do this?
The only thing I have to say is it 100% comes down to the belief in yourself. And the coaches you see on the summit stage, on the National Wake Up Call, doing all these amazing things, we were all in your shoes a couple years ago, a year ago for me. And if I could do it, you 100% can. It just comes down to believing in yourself and not giving up when the going gets hard.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It was great meeting you. And I'm going to, let's just stop the video real fast. Still working out the kinks in this one. You heard it right here, coaches. You know, a newer coach came out of the gate. It is possible if you put it out there that, you know, you're positive about this business. The energy is there, and, you know, don't let anybody tell you otherwise. So with that, I'm going to say goodbye. We'll see you next week. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.